on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that! It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break. I'm AJ Jones, powered by Jones Media and Entertainment. We're on Roku, courtesy of BS3, and we're now on FireTV. So I appreciate everybody who's finally got us up. We're kind of in beta testing on the FireTV thing. It's not live, but no more than 5-10 minutes after the show, you can catch the FireTV version of the lunch break. And of course, we are powered by the absolute worst internet company in the world. They are horrible. I ain't gonna say their name, but if you've been following the show, you know who they are. But reached out to another company, got them coming out. So we'll see if we can't get some fiber out here in the hood before too long. And before I even take another step or say another word, let me go ahead and extend my deepest condolences to the families of those who were senselessly murdered by a racist, a pure, straight, unadulterated racist out in Buffalo, New York at the Tops grocery store. Those 10 families will, their lives will never be the same. The other families of the people who were in that store and survived it, their lives will never be the same. Those who are wounded and still fighting for their lives, you know, we're praying for them as well. But I got to tell you, man, that right there, I got my Second Amendment with me right there. And again, for people who, you know, are trying to make that a big deal, listen to me real quick. There was a police officer, former police officer, security guard that had a weapon. And unfortunately, his weapon was not powerful enough to get through the body armor that this racist was wearing. And just from reading the manifesto and the other information that is valid, one of the reasons why the young man picked that area is because that state had some of the toughest gun laws, and he felt like he would not be up against anyone who had the kind of firepower that he had. So, you know, I'm just going to tell you right now, I carry a heavy load. I carry something that I can't even shoot in the gun range because it's a heavy load. And I'm not trying to boast or brag or whatever. You know, you might think, well, all I'm saying is protect yourself, protect your family. You know, yeah, the Lord will make a way somehow, but protect yourself, protect your family. You know, there are people that don't know the Lord, that they're not going to try to operate by, you know, his rules and his values and stuff like that. And 10 people went to the grocery store and never came home. So I'm be vigilant, check your surroundings, watch. Don't just be willy-nilly, happy-go-lucky. Pay attention to your surroundings and make sure you can protect yourself and your family. And then vote. I can't emphasize, I'm not trying to turn this into a political situation, but I will say this: on a local level with state governments, county judges, and and things like that, this is where this gentleman is going to be tried. He's going to be tried locally. He's going to be tried federally. And before he gets to any politician, he will get to a judge of some sort. Your vote matters with those. He does not need to get a life sentence. He does not need to be deemed to be mentally ill. If he can look at a person and see the hue of their skin and say, I apologize, I'm sorry, and then go on and kill other people, he's mentally sound. He's of sound mind. He's of sound mind. So vote. Please vote. I didn't tell you which way to vote. I just said vote for people who are going to uphold the laws and fight for the victims of senseless crimes, and not for the people who commit them. All right. So there's my soapbox real quick. All right. So it's Talk Your Team Tuesday. It is Talk Your Team Tuesday. I want to shout out to Coach Johnny Cole, man. He's doing a great job. I literally threw him out there, and Coach Cole is doing a great job on Mondays. I'm literally tuned in myself on Mondays for Coach Cole's HBCU stroll, and he is doing a great job. And for any, listen to me. For somebody who's never done this before and puts together his great guests, and he has phenomenal guests, and the topics that he talk about, that they talk about. It might not pertain to you, but they are definitely very relevant, and get a lot of good feedback. So I want to encourage him. I got big things in store for him, as well as things grow with the BS3 network and definitely with JM&E. So I really want to encourage Coach Johnny Cole to keep doing what he's doing. Thank you. Ben Sutter III said he's doing a great job. Then guess what he is? He's doing a great job. Big Mike said Coach Cole is holding it down. Yeah, man, I like it. I'm trying to get Chris Gardner to step up and do stuff on Thursdays, but I need y'all to keep him in his prayers. Mom just came out of a coma, and he said her mind is very sharp, but she's still got a long way to go. So y'all keep Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, in your prayers as he is, really, really trying to help his mom get back on her feet. He takes care of her every day. When she's not in the hospital, he takes care of her. He's her primary caregiver. And for him to do as much as he does, knowing that that's what he does as well, I love him even the more. So y'all keep Chris Gardner in your prayers as well. Let's see. Captain Trey Pike, what's going on, man? Good evening, everyone. Johnny is doing great. He's a great mentor to a lot of us young coaches. Man, I love the dude, bro. I love the dude. And man, let me shout out to my brother. Man, this guy, I tell you, man, he never ceases to amaze me. I really am. I'm in awe of Dr. Aki. I know I joke with him a lot. I know I always, get on him about being single and all that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, I love this dude, and I really admire him, because there's nobody that hustles harder than Dr. Aki Davis to provide for himself, to provide for his family, to build his brand. I'm serious, man. I really, really love this young man, and he is a good dude. Dr. Aki Davis, my hat's off to you. And then my other brother, L-Dub, man. L-Dub Williams is one of the best men I know. Good husband, good father, man. Well, look, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. Father to some amazing boys. And they're doing great things in the sports world as well. So, L-Dub, thanks for dropping in on Talk Your Team Tuesday. All right, that being said, man, let's talk. I was dead wrong about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. I said I see the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks back in the NBA Finals, and Boston and Dallas, of all teams, said, not so fast, my friend. Not only did they eliminate them from the playoffs, but let me tell you something. They beat the snot out of them to get them out of the playoffs. I mean, I have never seen two teams get beaten so badly. Now, Milwaukee was on the road in Boston for that Game 7, so, there's some understandability there. But Phoenix and Dallas, man. So where y'all want to start? That is Talk Your Team Tuesday. I want to talk about those two matchups. I want to talk about Boston and Milwaukee. I want to talk about Phoenix and Dallas. I want to talk about the Eastern Conference Finals with Miami and Boston, and everybody is just writing Miami off. And I got to tell you, man, if y'all have not figured out yet that Jimmy Butler is a different dude, Jimmy Butler, I'm going to say this, and I hope somebody can get him the tape. Jimmy Butler is what Pat Beverly wishes he could be. Jimmy Butler is the vibrato that Pat Beverly has with the backup. Because Pat Beverly talks that noise, but he don't back that noise up. And I'm sorry, I love Pat Bev. I used to call him the pit bull when he was down here in Houston. I loved Pat Beverly. I still love him, but he ain't that dog, though. I mean, Pat is a pup. Pat is a schnauzer. He's a Pomeranian. And those two dogs have bad attitudes. Pomeranians have some of the worst attitudes in the world, but Pat Beverly is not the dude that should be coming for Chris Paul. It was one thing when he was coming for Russ. I thought even that was a stretch, but but it's another thing when you come for CP3. CP3 eliminated your behind. CP3 was the one that sent you home previously. I'm not talking about this year. Remember when he pushed him in the back? He sent his home. So for CP3 to get up at 9:00 in the morning, put on a starched white collared shirt to sit up there with Stephen A. Smith in studio and talk that noise, I'm like, bruh, no. Not how sway, dog. No, that ain't who it is. That ain't what time it is. That ain't who you are. That's what you want to be, but you're not him. Jimmy Butler is him. Pat Beverly wanna be him. L-Dub, Suns better make amends to Andre Ayton. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Andre Ayton needs to get all the money he's asking for, needs to get all the years he wants. Andre Ayton needs to get paid in full because Andre Ayton has evolved right before our very eyes into one of the best bigs in the game. Literally. And I'm going to say it, no excuses, because it's all part of the game. Devin Booker and CP were not full strength. They were not full strength. We find out after the fact that CP3 had a quad injury that kept Kawhi Leonard out of the game for almost a year and a half. CP3 is trying to make it work. Devin Booker was not all the way back from that injury that he suffered. So anyway, Mike Riggins, Ayton is on his way out. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays right there. I hope they pay him and they build their own little thing right there in Phoenix. That's my one. Pat Bev put on a show for the Mouse Network. Ben Sutter III, I couldn't have said it better. Stephen A. Smith loves that mess. He loves that pettiness. He loves that mess. And I'm not mad at him. I mean, we are content creators. We put shows on. And yeah, we are passionate about our work. We're true to our craft. We study our craft. We do all of that. But we are content creators. And I'm not mad at Stephen A. Smith for stirring it up. I used to do that a lot on the legendary KYOK. I used to do that a lot back then. I do it a little bit now. I probably don't do it as much as I used to because I got people watching and listening to the show that I want to, do this right here. I need them to pay me. So I'm trying to tone it down a little bit. Willie Gibson, Pat Bev out here running around tricking people. That's what I'm saying. What Russ said about Pat Bev, Russ hadn't been able to back up. What Russ said about Pat Bev, Chris Paul has proven to be true. He sent your tail home. You had to push that man in the back like a little, I can't say all the words I want to say. Bruh, stop it. Stop. Not you. Not with CP3. No. The fact that you had time to get up, didn't have practice, didn't have shoot around, didn't have an upcoming game to do what you did and say what you said, says it all, bruh. Says it all. How my man do it on Instagram? Pat Bev, bro. That's as weak as it comes, bro. That's $3 billish right there, bro. That's $3 billish right there. Mike Riggins, I hope you're wrong, man. I hope he is not on the way out. Let's see what else Mike says. I don't think they want to pay him. Phoenix got to, man. They got to. They must. They must. They really do. They really do. They got to pay him. They got to pay him. Ayton can come to Dallas. We need him. All right, let's talk about Dallas for a minute. Let's talk about Dallas for a minute. I got to take a quick break. Let me do my my quick commercial break, and then I'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break. All right, y'all. We back on it. Let's see. I'm trying to get a live call in. Live call. Trying to get a live caller. So give us a second. We'll get a live call on here in a minute. But yeah, let's talk about Dallas for a second before this caller calls in. Is Dallas for real? Here's the thing. Okay, the call came in, so let's get it. Let's get this on right now. Without further ado, all the way from the well, I can't say you in the Natty. You up there in Cleveland, up there in Columbus.
So you starting already?
I am starting. I am. What you think? If Pat Bev can start, I can't start.
I don't wear a gold chain with my name played on. I'm coming for all the smoke today. All the smoke, and you know what I'm talking about. That's why you laugh.
Yeah, I am, and yeah, you're right. So listen, without further ado, it's the broadcast journalist from Columbus, Ohio, covers the Cleveland Browns, covers the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you cover the Guardians?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay. He covers all things Cleveland, but he rocks with the Ohio State University. Y'all, it's Willie Gibson. What's up, bro?
What's good?
Come on, man. Tell me what's up with Pat Bev, bro. For real. First of all, how you have time to get up at 9:00 in the morning and talk about somebody who just finished the game 7, one game away from the Western Conference Finals?
Bro, he broke all kind of rules, broke all kind of bad code, because not only that, he went on what they call a car wash. He went on every show yesterday. And one thing, I think it was First Take, he was like, yeah, I talked to a player last night, I ain't supposed to say it, but I don't care, I'm going to say it anyway. I talked to Paul George last night. I'm like, bro, you dropping dimes like that? You really building sources on worldwide TV? You can't do that. You can't do that. Bro, I don't know if he thought, hey, this is my shot. I'm coming in with the big boys, but nah, man. Nah.
Well, I would just say this. I would just say that if Paul George feels the same way that Pat Bev does, I'm done with Paul George too. Because let's just look at it. Your stuff ain't added up either. You at home too. How these cats at home talking about somebody who, forget this. One of the dumbest stats in the world is this 0 for whatever in games this and games that. He wasn't playing the game by himself. It's not tennis. It's not golf. He wasn't playing the game by himself. So to try and put that all on CP3 is dumb journalism. I said it with my chest. Now, take that out. You put Paul George in there with that kind of thinking, and you got Pat Bev running around dropping names like that. Trash, both of them.
Yeah, playoff P. Playoff P who's never been to the conference finals, but I'm self-proclaimed playoff P. Like, come on, man.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. But no, man, Pat Bev, bro, he went from highly respected dog to lowly respected Pomeranian.
Yeah, I think Pat Bev cost himself with that one because I'll say it. It's he was being recruited by one high-profile general manager in the league that's extremely close to Chris Paul. That I'm quite sure that recruitment ended after his comments of yesterday.
Yeah. Now watch this. Chris Paul, if he was like me, he'd be like, "Nah, I don't want it nowhere near us." And oh yeah, by the way, when we play them, put some money on my books.
Oh, for sure. Just don't go to the Clippers because Chris Paul knows the secret pathway to the locker room.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, don't go to the Clippers.
Oh, I know. So I'm just saying, bro. It's like, where is this coming from, man? What is Pat Bev's problem, and why is everybody turning Pat Bev into the dude on Instagram or on TikTok that yells about everything?
Pat Bev is, as the older folks used to say, he's smelling himself. He got a little media time. ESPN called him, like, come through, and he's like, "Hey, this is my shot." He got a little excited. Said some things he definitely shouldn't have said. And you notice to a person afterwards, Matt Barnes came out speaking of all the smoke, JB the smoke.
Yeah.
Like, Pat Bev, come on, man. So I think he just got caught up.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. He got caught up. I don't know. I think he was back on there today. I did not see it, so I don't know if he was a little more reserved today. But yeah, Pat Bev, when keeping it real goes wrong, that's example number one.
Yeah, no, I agree. Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio, joining us on Talk Your Team Tuesday. So help me with this Dallas thing. Is Luka that dude? Is Luka? I liked nice Luka, who would drop triple dub, and I don't know if I like. I'm trying to be that dude, Luka. I don't know if I like this guy.
Everybody talk tough when they out.
I heard him say that. But here's what he can't do. He cannot do all that smiling and talking and hard fouling that did not get called, because there was a whole lot of shoulder dropping in Luka's game on the smaller Chris Paul. You can't do that and then get against Golden State and get punked. I'm telling you now, I'm cooking Luka if he does that.
Oh no, I think Devin Booker has done something that the whole league's going to pay for, because it's what you said. Luka was nice and reserved and demure, and I'm just happy to be here. And when he snatched that ball in Game 5, that poked the bear, and I don't think he's not getting that toothpaste back in the tube now.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, but that's all I'm saying is, do not go up there talking noise and get walked out of there. That's all I'm saying. If Dallas gets 4-0, if Dallas gets 5-1, if Dallas gets 5-2, if Dallas gets 4-1, if Dallas gets 4-2, I want to hear about Luka's tough guy act against Phoenix.
Well, it's what you just said, though. I mean, he's not doing it by himself. I mean, in fairness to him, yeah, he beat Phoenix, but he did it without Tim Hardaway. He was arguably their second best player, who probably won't play in this series either. Jalen Brunson, is he going to be able to? I mean, he's playing to secure the bag, so is he going to be able to keep up what he's doing? Dorian Finney-Smith, nice player. I don't know that Luka's going to do Luka. Luka's going to get his. But is everybody else going to come with him? Same thing with Milwaukee. Giannis got his, but nobody came with him with Middleton out.
Right.
It's just, are they going to be able to come with him?
Right. Right. And as I was saying, everybody got Boston just walking through Miami, and I'm just telling y'all don't know the levels of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler walking out of that arena in Philly wasn't playing when he said, what he said about the cat that they took over him. You don't want Jimmy Butler out of that toothpaste either.
Yeah, but that's the only thing with that. That's not the guy they took over him. Like Jimmy, that wasn't him. Ben is who they chose over Jimmy. They kept Ben Simmons over Jimmy.
Yeah, but listen, Tobias, it should have been, all right, we're going to get rid of Tobias. We're going to get rid of, and name 5 other dudes before you got rid of Jimmy. But they kept Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, and Jimmy didn't forget.
We all know guys that to create stuff to get themselves going. That's why I chalked that as that. Because when I heard it, I'm like, wait a minute. Tobias wasn't even the guy they got rid of you for. But it's cool. Great soundbite.
Yeah, well, all I know is this. I've seen Jimmy Butler hit a different gear. I've seen Jimmy Butler take 4 dudes that you ain't never seen get off the bench and be starters and talk mess the whole time they were doing it.
Yeah. In Minnesota.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Boston handling Miami is what I'm hearing you say.
You have heard correctly, sir. I am picking Boston.
Okay. All right. Well, now let me ask you this.
I made Udoka.
I'll give you that. I was just getting ready to say, is it a coaching thing? Because if it's a coaching thing, then you might be onto something.
Yeah, I made Udoka. The adjustments that he's making. You hear about Jason Tatum, and you should. And you hear about Marcus Smart, and you should. But I made Udoka. Give that man his flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. You got 2 coaches that are not first-time coaches. You got coaches with new teams in the conference finals. With Jason Kidd, because everybody told me he couldn't do this. He was trash up in Milwaukee. That's what everybody told me. And now he's in the conference finals. And he didn't get there by walking through, nobody. He got there by walking through the team that was in there last year. And the same thing with Udoka. He is there after walking through a very good Milwaukee team, minus Chris Middleton, but still. After that game 5, nobody thought that Boston was going to bounce back like they did in game 7.
No, and that's just it. In January, they were writing him off as a first-year coach. Like, he's in over his head. He can't handle the superstar.
Right.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you got to get rid of somebody.
Right.
And he made the adjustment. And since then, they've been rolling, but you don't hear that. You hear Brad Stevens is the executive of the year. I laugh because I know how you feel. Brad Stevens, the executive of the year, the moves that he's made. I'm like, but he's not coaching anymore.
Oh my God! Look, he better not be, God dog it. Look, this team has looked better than they ever have since he's been around. Hold on. Somebody else is trying to call in. I'll send them to voicemail. All right, listen, Willie. Reportedly, Deshaun Watson is either going to meet with the NFL or has met with the NFL. A couple of mixed reports out there. What are your thoughts? What are you hearing? Could we see some type of suspension sooner than we thought previously reported?
I heard the meeting was yesterday.
That's what I heard too.
And typically when the NFL is investigating something, they meet with the person being investigated last. So that tells me that they're wrapping up this investigation, and we should hear something, if anything, shortly. That's pretty much it. Now, I do know, and you know this as well, that Tony Busby and Rusty Hart did agree not to go to trial between August 1st and March 1st.
Right.
That's to not disrupt the season for Deshaun. So,
right.
The NFL seemingly wrapping up their investigation in May. Be interested to see what happens going forward.
Yeah, because I think what we're going to find is, well, first of all, we already know the NFL's investigation and the civil, because that's what we're looking at now. The civil investigation, two separate deals. He can be totally exonerated in the civil investigation and still suffer punishment in the NFL under the personal conduct policy. So I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL wanted to get ahead of training camp and the season with some type of decision. That's just me, my thoughts.
I agree. Yeah, just to quote our favorite, one of our favorite trios, if it's going down, let's get it over with. Right. Because I mean, think about it. They've been dealing with this for a year and a half. Right.
And I dare say they're not going to go through a whole nother season without some type of idea on what punishment will come. Because the interesting thing is, if they go ahead and issue their punishment and nothing major comes out of the civil stuff, if it's just settlements, then they're done. They don't have to do anything else.
Now, what I did hear is that they're discovering, as a part of the investigation, and take this for as you will, they are discovering that some of the civil cases have turned into extortion.
I have stayed away from talking about that kind of stuff out of respect to other women out there and other people out there who have legitimately been sexually assaulted, and they have no ill intent. They just want justice. I've stayed away from those reports and that information.
Right.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting. Again, I feel like the NFL is going to try and get ahead of it and make a decision and then let it play out from there.
I agree. So with them speaking to Deshaun, all indications are they're wrapping up their investigation, and now we just wait for the white paper smoke.
Got it.
From the rooftop.
Got it. Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio. Two things, and I'll let you go. Draft lottery tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, obviously Cleveland ain't in it, but they in it. So what do you think?
It's happened before. It's happened before.
Yeah. When the Sun picked the ball, right?
So when was that?
When
Nick.
When Nick was on the desk, I should say, because they don't pick the ball, but Nick was on the desk, and they got that number one pick. Man, everybody here in Houston is hoping it'll be the Rockets this year. The Rockets can't get any worse than a top 5 pick.
Right. Hey, I hear Chet Holmgren is the guy. That's your guy. Take him. That's your guy.
Who? What? No, man.
Google him. Research Chet Holmgren. Get him.
No, sir.
Don't let him pass Houston.
No, sir. Stop the madness. Stop.
Listen, man, I'm your brother. I'm for you. Make sure do not let Raphael Stone. Don't let Chet Holmgren get away.
Get away from me, man. Get off my phone. The other thing is hush your mouth. The other thing, now that spring ball is over, what's going on with The Ohio State University, man? What's up with them?
Oh, it's hot. They just announced tonight, or actually like maybe an hour ago, that the season opener, September 3rd, Labor Day weekend, Notre Dame comes to the shoe with a 7:30 kickoff. College game day will be in the building.
Okay. So
that's going to be a hot one. Already was, but the fact that it's night game in the shoe and college game day is in the building, that just took it to the next level.
The Ohio State back in the college football playoffs this year?
Without question.
All right, say it with your chest now. I want to see what you was talking about.
Without question.
Just one.
And an offensive player from The Ohio State University will win the Heisman.
Okay, all right. You talking about your quarterback, right? I know you ain't talking about that running back.
Or my wide receiver. See, there you go.
Ah!
Which one you guys want? Yeah, see, you like that one. Which one you guys want?
All they gonna do is split that vote. Hey, let me shout out to Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson. Snowman says, how about them Golden State Warriors? Here we go. See, here we go. Y'all wasn't talking that noise when Golden State was on a hiatus for the last couple of years. Now y'all are going to be insufferable. Luka Doncic better be about that life, because I do not want Golden State back in the finals unless they're going to lose.
I'll say this. I had a conversation with a friend of mine Sunday about this. We hear Game 6 Clay, Game 6 Clay, Game 6 Clay. Well, my question is, where were you games 1 through 5? I'm serious. To get to Game 6, I hear Game 6 Clay all the time. Like, well, where were you games 1 through 5?
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, I'm being 100% serious right now. Where were you games 1 through 5 in order to get to Game 6 Clay? I don't understand.
Snowman said Warriors in 5, so we won't have to worry about Game 6 Clay, because he said Warriors in 5.
We shall see.
All right, man.
We shall see.
All right, man. Let me get out of here, brother. You have a good one, man. Give my love to the fam. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, Willie G.
Appreciate you. You as well. Will Gibson 7 on the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram. Will Knows on Facebook.
All right, brother. We'll be talking to you soon, Will.
Look forward to it. Yes, sir.
All right, Willie Gibson, man. One of the best in the business. Y'all check him out. Y'all check him out. I'm telling you, he's a good dude. Very good dude. All right, let me take my commercial break that I missed. We'll come right back with more right after this on the lunch break. All right, nothing but love for all the family at BS3. Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson is definitely one of them, and he's talking his team today. He is talking about those Golden State Warriors, and I got to tell you, I told people last year that I thought Golden State was going to be a problem. They weren't quite ready last year because of the early injury to Klay Thompson, but yes, Klay's back. Steph is definitely back. Draymond is back, and they've got, Poole and Looney and the other guys that are really stepping up. And I'm telling you, Golden State can win it all. They literally can win it all. There's nobody on the East that, they can't beat. Now, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying they can. So Golden State Warrior fans, y'all have every right to be excited again about your team. Folks were saying that the window had closed on Golden State. It was over. And I said then, no, y'all clearly aren't seeing what I'm seeing. They had players that were stepping up, getting it done without Steph, without Klay, without Draymond. And I knew once you plug those guys back in, they were going to be hard to beat. I got to be honest with you. The team that I really did not expect to be here was Dallas. And Keith Hennig says the Mavs look too strong for Golden State. I don't know if I agree with that. I will tell you, this Dallas team looks a lot like that team that surprised everybody and won themselves a championship. Can they win it? Yeah, of course. When you get down to the Final Four, any one of those teams can win it. Definitely Miami could win it all. Definitely Boston could win it all. But, we'll see. Let me look at the line for tonight. Let me look at the line for tonight's game in the NBA. The Heat at home are a 2-point favorite. Tomorrow, Golden State is a 5-point favorite at home. And then the line for Thursday and Friday has not been put out yet, but both the home teams are favorites tonight, no more than five for Golden State. So we'll see. But I mean, again, I love fresh blood. I'm glad that we have somebody other than, who we had last year. I just thought it was going to be the same two teams from last year because they look like the strongest and the deepest teams. Obviously, Milwaukee had a very different situation with Chris Middleton going down. And I'll say it, and I don't care who, you're making excuses. Chris Paul and Devin Booker weren't 100. They were not 100. But they didn't make any excuses. They got out there. They gave it a shot. It just didn't work out. So if they lose Ayton in the middle of that Phoenix team, I don't know, man. I don't know. Who's your big if you don't have Ayton, and who can do everything that Ayton can do? We'll see. That's the beauty of free agency and it's not just a good coach and good players. You got to have good general managers. You got to have a good, front office execs, and you got to have good ownership. So we'll see what happens with the Phoenix Suns after this. If I had to go way too early look at next year, I got to say the teams that are on the rise, definitely New Orleans. Definitely New Orleans is a team on the rise. Definitely Memphis is a team on the rise. Those are two teams I would be looking out for. I think OKC is still a little young. They're still a little young, but the teams that I would not be surprised if we're talking about them this time next year would be New Orleans, would be Memphis as two teams that are on the rise. Big Mike says Ayton is a restricted free agent, so they could get something for him. Yeah, if I'm them. But, I mean, it's almost like the Rockets losing James Harden. There's no guarantee you're going to get the same quality of player in return for the guy that you're losing. So there are not a whole lot of DeAndre Aytons out there. They're not. So we'll see how that goes for them, but we'll see. Let's give the Spurs a little love. I'll give them a little love, but they're not on the same trajectory yet as New Orleans was, as Memphis. I can't put them in that same conversation yet. Now, again, if anybody can turn around, and then again, I don't know where Pop is. I don't know if Pop has been regenerated, remotivated. I don't know. They still got a little bit of work on that roster to do. Guys have got to stay healthy. They had a couple of guys that, had some issues. So, but they're still not on the same level as New Orleans and Memphis as far as trajectory goes just yet. Phoenix, I don't know. There's always that team that's got to get out of the way so another team can get in the way. And let me look at that. Let's take a look at the current East and West standings. And again, two teams on the West that stood out for me. Oh, they're giving me playoff stand. I don't want that. Hold on. Let me go somewhere else. Bear with me a second. NBA standings. Okay. West. The Grizzlies finished in the number 2 spot. They'll be back. New Orleans was down in that play-in at number 8. They'll definitely be. Minnesota is a team that's on that high trajectory. So, I could see one of those 3 teams being in the top 7 already. New Orleans was 8. Minnesota was 7. And then, like I said, Grizzlies were already at number 2. Grizzlies could take over that number 1 spot. They won 56 games last year, or this season. So they could definitely be there. Clippers, I'm underwhelmed. Spurs, again, they got a little work to do. I'm not giving the Lakers any love until they figure out what they're doing and who they're doing it with. Sacramento, nothing to write home about. Portland, obviously going to be better when you throw Dame Lillard back in the mix full time. We'll see what they can do. Oklahoma City still a little young. Rockets still a little young. All right, let's go over to the East. I guess you got to put Brooklyn in the conversation, but I feel like Brooklyn is more on a this than they're on a this. That's just me. I feel like Brooklyn's got a lot too much to figure out. I feel like Philly has too much to figure out. Hawks, Cleveland, Charlotte. Hawks, Cleveland, Charlotte are the teams that I think are out of it right now, but could be in it next year. Mike Riggins, Clippers should be back. Meh. Keith Hennick, you're right, Mike. The Clips will be very strong. Meh. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll see it when I believe it. Whatever. I underwhelmed. Kawhi Leonard back, then yeah. Kawhi Leonard back, led by Paul George. Unflavored water, led by Paul George. That the Clippers are unflavored water, led by Paul George. The Clippers, led by Kawhi Leonard, got a little all right, that got a little kick to it. So, it just depends on what it is. All right, let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little football before we get ready to wrap this up. Green Bay made a big signing. At defensive back. Gave old boy a lot of money, too. Gave him a lot of money. I don't know if that's going to help him. Get where they want to be, but we'll see. Where is Odell Beckham Jr. going to be? Where is Odell Beckham Jr. going to be? I think there's still a couple of big names out there that once they drop, it's going to be Wild Wild West all over again. Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Bakeman, Odell Beckham Jr. I think once those guys kind of figure out where they're going and what they're going to do, I think the excitement NFL-wise will be back. I say again, I don't know if Cincinnati is going to be the talk of the town in the AFC this year. I mean, they represented the AFC last year in the Super Bowl and had a chance to win it. But I don't know if that's the case this year. And I don't know if the Rams just automatically get back there next year. This season. Odell Beckham will be with Baker in the USFL. That's insulting, Keith. Baker in the USFL, I wouldn't mind him coming and running the Houston Gamblers, man. Because who was the Gamblers quarterback? Let me look at this. Because this dude is horrible. This dude is straight trash, man. The young man out of Northwestern, Thorson, I think is his name. They need to start the other cat and just be done with it, because Clayton Thorson, he running around like he's $100 million number one pick, MVP. I'm going to Disney World, bruh. You're 1-4 now, but you're 1-4. You were 11 for 27, one touchdown and an interception, and you're all amped up. Like, ain't nobody thinking you're the next Jim Kelly of the USFL. Nobody's thinking that. Like, you got to chill out, relax, and let the game come to you. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you got walked down by a dude who wasn't even the starter in this past weekend's game. I'm not a fan of the quarterback for the Houston Gamblers in the USFL. He impresses me as one of those overly confident, talks a better game than he plays, feels more entitled than he should. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you suck. I'm sorry. Clayton Thorson out of Northwestern, just not a fan, just very much not a fan. And if it was the NFL, I would say, he's about to cost Kevin Sumlin his job. I hope they're smarter than that in the USFL, and they just change out quarterbacks as opposed to going with this guy, because not the dude. I wouldn't be mad if Baker Mayfield came and played for Sumlin, and they brought back some of that old, that old Big 12 magic. I wouldn't be mad at that. But Odell Beckham Jr. shouldn't be in the USFL. Odell Beckham Jr. should be on the NFL roster. You know where I want Odell Beckham Jr. to go? Baltimore. I said it. I would love for Odell Beckham Jr. and Lamar Jackson to be able to do their thing together. I'd love that. Oh my gosh, I would love that. I'll say this. There's another place where I would be mad if Odell Beckham Jr. ended up. I know it will never happen. I know it will never happen. Tennessee. Let Odell Beckham Jr. go to Tennessee. He'll be back in the playoffs. He'll have a shot to be back in the Super Bowl. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me look at some more of this football stuff. Let's see. I wouldn't be mad if Jimmy Garoppolo returned to San Francisco. One more year, run it back. Give the Rams a run for their money. I'm not saying Trey Lance can't do it. I'm not saying he won't do it. I'm just saying I wouldn't be mad if Jimmy G ran it back another year healthy because they fixed whatever he had going on at the end of the season, this offseason. I wouldn't be mad if Jimmy G and San Francisco ran that thing back because I really think that they would be one of the teams to beat next to the LA Rams. But I got to tell you, do we automatically think that Matthew Stafford is going to have the same kind of effect this season that he had last season? I think a lot of people took Matthew Stafford as Detroit Matthew Stafford. You put a lot of weapons around Matthew Stafford and you see what he can do. I feel like teams are going to play Matthew Stafford a little bit differently this season than they did last season. They've had all offseason to break down film, look at tape. Big Mike, you can chime in on this. Break down film, look at tape, look at tendencies, look at, tells, look at things that, that they might have taken for granted, feeling like they had enough of film to go on in the Detroit Matthew Stafford. But I feel like defensive coordinators are going to sharpen things up a little bit with this Matthew Stafford and this LA Rams team. They might not have the same success. And that's why you don't often have repeat champions in the NFL. Teams catch up and they catch stuff and they see stuff. They're not preparing for him this week. They've had all offseason to prepare and look for things that they might have missed, thinking that he was the same old Matthew Stafford from the past. So it's going to be interesting to me. There's still rumors floating around that Baker Mayfield could be coming to Houston. I don't think that that's the case, but I don't know what to say about Nick Caserio. Nick could be telling us one thing and totally doing something different. Big Mike says, and I'm glad you're still listening. Big Mike says 100%. One thing to keep in mind, though, is McVay wants to, y'all hit me. McVay wants to run the ball first, and they didn't have Akers the majority of the year. I agree. Big Time Floyd, what it do, baby? Big Time Floyd, hey, AJ and the Breakers, the boys have a great spot open for OBJ. That's a very possible landing spot, provided he signs for Jerry's discount on a one-year deal, chance for another run. I think he'll go back to the Rams before he'd sign on a discounted deal in Dallas. Big Mike said, I think the Rams will be a lot more balanced on offense this season. And Keith Hennig, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brady goes out on top. Well, Tampa Bay is one of my teams to beat. Tampa Bay, 49ers, and the Rams. And remember, Dallas was my number 4 team in the NFC. In the AFC, Buffalo, Tennessee, Kansas City, and then I kind of fooled around with that number 4 team. I'm leaning somewhere like Baltimore with that number 4 team in the AFC. but definitely Kansas City, Buffalo, Tennessee, not Cincinnati, but somebody like Baltimore. Big Mike, don't rule out New Orleans for Odell. Don't sleep on the Saints. Willie Gibson got the eyeballs rolling. Yeah, it ain't gonna be Cleveland. It ain't gonna be Cleveland. Y'all might win the AFC North, but especially if Deshaun misses somewhere between 6 and 8 games. Heaven forbid they sit him down all year long. If they sit him down all year long, you got to start Jacoby Brissett or Joshua Hobbs. Don't go back to Bake, man. Don't do it. What's up with Drew Brees? Anything, Fox? If Drew Brees the rumor is Drew Brees was talking about coming back, possibly going to Pittsburgh. That was the way I was getting it from my sources, that Drew Brees was being lured out of retirement with a chance to start in Pittsburgh for a whole lot of money. I don't think Pittsburgh has a whole lot of money, number one. And number two, if Drew Brees is that crazy and he misses the game, I'd start checking him for any signs you could check of CTE right now. He better get that money in the booth over from Fox. He better get all that money. All right, look, y'all, I got to get ready to go. Always love coming back, having fun with y'all. Comcast wasn't too bad today. So, we'll see. I've still got some other companies coming out, see if we can't get fiber in the hood. But we'll come back tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday tomorrow. Talk about how you, of course, can win $500 cash in the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, which will start week 1 of the NFL season, and how at the end of the year you can compete for $500 cash. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, we'll be talking about tonight's playoff game and then tomorrow night's playoff game. So, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it except meet me here tomorrow at noon, 12 Central. All right, so as always, y'all have a good one. Let's get what you need to know from Sybil Wilkes right after this spot on The Cinematic Affair coming up July 16th. Go to www.thecinematicaffair.com. Get your tickets for the 3-night event. I'll be in a movie. Come hang out with us. We'd love to see you. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Talk to you tomorrow.
With what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Number 1, voters will go to the polls today to cast ballots in 5 states. They are Idaho, Kentucky, North Carolina, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. Many primary elections featuring African-American candidates have drawn media and voter attention. Among them, former Kentucky State Rep. Charles Booker. Booker is predicted to win the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate today and will likely take on incumbent Republican Senator Rand Paul in the November election. Number 2, according to Brittany Griner's lawyer, Griner had her pretrial detention in Russia extended by 1 month last Friday. The lawyer thinks the extension indicates the case could go to trial soon, and Griner has been in custody of the Russians for nearly 3 months. After the extension, the Phoenix Mercury star's agent tweeted that Griner's team expects the government to use all options available to immediately and safely bring her home. The Russians have described Griner's case as a criminal offense without making any political associations. Number 3, according to a new analysis, coronavirus vaccines could have prevented at least 300,000 virus-related deaths between January of 2021 and April of 2022. Researchers say their findings suggest that at least every second person who died from COVID-19 since the vaccines became available might have been saved by receiving the shots. Although the national average indicated that approximately 50% of deaths were preventable, researchers said there were large differences among states. Number 4, in a Dallas suburb last week, a whip-cracking 9-year-old white boy came to the front porch of one of his neighbors and banged on their door while demanding to confront their black daughter, who was in the home. a Ring camera video of the moment went viral after it was posted to social media. The parents of the little black girl, Carissa and Dee Nash, say they posted the video to highlight how local law enforcement told them the boy is too young to face any criminal penalties. But his father was not. Number 5. From age 62 to 70, you can start taking your Social Security retirement benefits. However, by putting off your benefits start date, you can receive a check that is 8% higher for each year you delay receiving your benefit beyond your full retirement age. Read more about it in today's newsletter brought to you by Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Gently encourage the health of others. With a little help, we can all get there together. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, we are partnering with the Public Welfare Foundation to give away $500. Go to my Instagram at Sybil Wilkes for more information and to sign up. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central as we check in and check up on our health with my friend, comedian extraordinaire, Sherry Shepard, as we talk about Stroke Awareness Month. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.